I was considering L8, which is historically home to a disproportionately large immigrant population. As you can see there, we've got a bit of the statistics of comparing L8 to the rest of the city, and it's very brown compared to the rest, which is very white. It's the home to the oldest Chinese community in Europe. This is a screenshot from Chinatown, and we have the largest arch outside of China, I think, which is the largest Chinatown arch. Like, it's a very multicultural city, and it's got a long and complicated history, which I didn't want to flatten. So I wanted the main event to be a live one where something happened and exchanges went on. This is from Granby Market, where I curated a series of performances from local rappers, performance artists, poets, and in the end, that formed a basis of research for 5 films which were shown in a cinema art gallery, and each film was designed to try and bring out a different thread from this complicated history. So for me, it's more important to attend to reality than to impose our own narratives, and I wanted to capture the rich past of this place. As I can attest to, oh my God, as I can attest to, all right. Immigrant is not a good descriptor for people, because, especially in Liverpool, because there's people there who still have some modicum of an immigrant identity, but they are Scouse and they've been there forever. So this is MC Nelson, a rapper who was born in Liverpool, and his work is to do with his personal relationship to Black Scouse identity, and he's a researcher, but also he presents that in a way that is very accessible for anyone, and I think that's very important. Grassroots work is what keeps Liverpool alive and vibrant and worth staying in. This is Margaret Thatcher, our enemy, and these are the words that somebody said to me that's in one of the films about L8. And this is another activist who also worked with that same person, and she says that you can't manage the people of Liverpool 8 because we have an independent spirit which is resistant to the movements, the political movements and the flurries and the pushing out that has historically occurred and reoccurred in the area of L8. So it was strange for me coming at this topic because, as I've mentioned several times now, I'm not an architect or an anthropologist. I'm a writer, I'm a filmmaker, and I'm an immigrant myself, and that's how I wanted to approach this. I wanted to go deep within certain individuals' experiences, if only to show that that is not enough for you to understand anybody else's experience. The exhibition is essentially, the curation that I did was through film, and what I wanted to curate was people's perspectives. So not only their art and their poetry and their music, but also just their opinions, because, you know, we can stand here with our vocabulary words and our theories, but these are the people that we are talking about. And I wanted to, in reference with this, read you a quote from the Tao Te Ching, which I think explains better than I could why I focused on people. The doors and windows are cut out to form an apartment, but it is on the empty space within that its use depends. So with all that, I also wanted to create a document that would subsist and I'd be able to distribute. I can share with any of you that if you ask me later. It just went by. It was a zine made by a local collective who are focused on platforming people of colour. And I mean, this is what I can show you, but I feel like I really took it to heart what was said to us at the curation workshop that we came to at the beginning of the project, which was that when we're talking about identity, the worst thing you can do is tell a story that does not bring people's lives into real and full colour. And they said that the best thing you could do is make something really happen. So these are some of the contributions from local people who just wrote on these postcards that we had. ArrivalCity needs to be kept for people and not a rival of solely monetary investments, homes, not investments. Scary yet friendly, welcoming yet segregated. And this is one of the writings that was commissioned for the zine. So beyond the actual exhibition itself, I asked writers from Liverpool to contribute there. This is a girl who looks at Black history and pre-Windrush Black history especially. And to conclude, unceremoniously, according to Frederick Heckman, full integration happens when a migrant transfers their main place of residence and centre of interest to the new country. A successful arrival city is structurally integrated, but how fair is this to expect from a population that has been routinely underrepresented? And I love what this person said. I wanted to end with it. Immigration is, oh my God. I could read it when I was small, my God. Thank you. Nilu Sharifi, Liverpool, ArrivalCity. My first inspirations for ArrivalCity were the stories and local histories of the people living there, because my priority was to attend to reality rather than impose my own narrative. We looked at the postcode L8, which compared to the rest of Liverpool, which is I think 92% white, it's over 50% people of colour, which is obviously really disproportionate, and that fits in with the idea of the arrival city as being somewhere where populations of migrants are really concentrated and intertwined, and there's local businesses, and everything about that area reflects that population and the vibrant mix of people that live there. I wanted to show the complexity of Liverpool's past with immigration, because not only do you have people who've been in Liverpool for generations who still have some form of immigrant identity by virtue of being visibly non-white and being marginalised, and they're living alongside people who have just migrated now, and those people are very different but are perceived from the same history and the same ongoing history. So for me it was about capturing the complications. Liverpool's amazing because despite the fact that it's, especially L8, has really been underfunded, you know, they've tried to demolish it over the years, and there's all these different grassroots organisations, and particularly powerful ones in L8, which are fighting against this process of disinvestment. They work together, sharing information in a very non-competitive way across organisations to fight back against the establishment powers, and they have succeeded to restore several buildings and stop places of residence from being turned into wasteland that the council can sell off. So, inspiring, yeah. If it's made any impact, it's been on a very individual level of the people who saw those films that I made and maybe got to know a little bit more about, maybe started to think about immigrants in a more human way. That's the impact I hope that I personally had with my contribution, but I think the project in general is important because we're approaching a time where it's very attractive to dehumanize populations and consider them as a burden. So to look at these populations that everyone is so sensitive about, I think is an important and brave thing to do.